All right, everyone, we're here with a very special guest. We have Chloe Tucker Caine from Owning Manhattan in the studio, with her dog Sadie as well, who is stealing the show. And Rhea said, Fran, do the intro because I'm busy petting.
I'm a second-class citizen when she's around, so I'm used to it.
Sadie and I are bonding, of course. Yep. She just loves my jacket, I think.
Yeah,
she's a hugger.
Just looks like another. I know.
I love it.
You want to come up here? Come on up here.
Oh, so sweet.
This is this. I was gonna say this whole chair smells like my dog as she sits on my lap when we record.
Oh,
so it's probably all the smells are on here. But thanks so much for joining us.
So happy to be here. Joining us. New season of Owning Manhattan is out now, so we want to talk all about it. How are we feeling? We were just talking to you. You said maybe you haven't seen all of it yet, but you've seen your audition tape that was put out there.
I did. I saw that. I've seen some clips.
Yes.
I saw the first episode so far, and I'm terrified to see the rest. It's a very weird thing when you don't get to see it before and you watch it with the rest of the world.
Right. What are you terrified about?
I mean, we started when my baby was 6 months and she's now almost 2. So you film so much and you just don't really know where they're going to go with the story, how your own personal story is going to be told. And it's a bit scary because they can really go in whatever direction most fits what they want to say.
Yeah, that is a while now. When you really think about it, a year and a half.
When did you film?
Yeah, we started in, God, I don't even know when. Yeah, almost a year and a half ago.
Okay, yeah.
So,
yeah. That is a big gap of time where a lot changes, a lot happens, especially in the real estate world. I feel like the business could change so much from then to now. But I'd love to know a little bit more. I'm so distracted by this dog. She's too cute. I'd love to know a little bit more of you joining the process of joining Serhant, because I kind of feel like we saw a lot season 1, but we hear a lot about the wanting to be on Broadway and all those, which I want to talk about too.
Yeah.
But where did the real estate jump into the picture?
Yeah, so I was always doing theater. That was what we were doing. I came out of the womb. My mom stuck me in theater camp from 4 on. And then, I went to college for it. I applied to one school. It was the Boston Conservatory. I got a full scholarship. And then I had an opportunity to audition for Mamma Mia. It was an open call. It was my first professional audition and booked the lead role. Did it for 2 years. And then I got to New York. And I didn't realize that I was actually really killing it. I had a great team behind me. I was always in the room for things. I was always getting she's really great, she's not right for this. But I think because everything else happened so quickly in my head being so young, I was they're just saying I'm not good enough. But no one told me I wasn't good enough but me when I really think about it.
Yeah.
Anyways, flash forward to me bartending, trying to make a buck, but I was a terrible bartender. Yeah. I was so bad at it, so I kept getting fired. And I was well, let me Airbnb my apartment and I'll just live with my boyfriend, my now husband at the time. And that got super illegal. And so he was like, why don't you just get a real estate license? You're really good at this. And I was like, okay, I guess I'll get a license. And I loved it. And I just, I did the course in 2 weeks. And I was like, wait, okay, whatever. Never mind theater. Let me focus on this. I'm going to be the best at this.
Yeah.
And I started finding clients on Facebook and did 100 rentals my first year. Then I got a rental building and then I was I have to watch $1 Million Listing because that's what you do when you go into real estate.
Yeah, of course.
And I totally fell in love with Ryan Serhant and I watched all his videos and I was like, I'm going to copy him. I'm going to make the same type of videos. And when I get to 10 videos, I'm going to reach out. And I got to 6 videos and someone from his team was like, hey, we love what you're doing. Come work with us.
That's awesome.
Sorry, that's a very long story of how we got to here.
I love it. Love to hear about it.
And you can tell that he obviously loves the power of social media and all that. So I feel like that's a perfect way to get in with him.
Yeah,
for sure. Yeah. And you talk about the open call for Mamma Mia and getting the lead. What was that like for you? Because then after that, like you said, then you hear no, and it's oh, what? What do you mean I'm not getting this right away?
It was very confusing, right? Because I was so young, and it was I left school to go do a show called I think it was The Next Elle Woods, making of Elle Woods, Legally Blonde on MTV.
Yeah. Yes.
The Search for Elle Woods.
Yes.
And
I remember that.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
And I was in college and I made they basically pick a group of girls, they have you sign a contract, and then they like film the audition. So I was like, great, like I'm in, like I'm packing up my bags. I'd been in school for 4 months. I was like, peace out, I'm gonna go be a Broadway star. I got kicked off the first episode, like beat one, moment one, and then I was like, well, now what? Like I'm not going back to school. That's like very humiliating. I told everyone I was gonna like be a Broadway star. And like
I'm on Broadway.
I was like there for 5 minutes.
I feel like it's got to be even worse at like a theater school. It's like I can't go back now.
I like was horrified. Yeah. I was like, God, so I became a recluse. I was like, I can't look at anyone. But yeah, I was like partying for a minute, like just being. I'd never just like been young and had fun. I was always like performing. And then I was like, okay, Chloe, like get back on your bullshit. So like go to an open call, like use the muscle. And it was for Mamma Mia, and I went and I booked the role right away. So I feel like things had always come very easy and natural, which it felt easy, but I'd been working at it since I was very young. So when I got to New York, like because I wasn't getting it handed to me on a silver platter, I was like, wait a minute, like actually I've always thought I'd get to New York and they'd be like, oh my God, you're here, and actually they were like, you're great, but like wait your turn.
She's arrived.
Yeah, like I was like, where is the parade? Like I don't know what's happening. So
that is so cool though. That's awesome. Do you think that your experience in acting in theater really helps you be a great real estate agent?
I mean, totally, because it's all a performance, right? You know, like places people, it's time to start the show. You know, you have your clients come in and you're presenting an apartment, and I've always kind of thought of it as, you know, you're putting on a show to get it
sold. If you're having a shitty day, you're in a mood, you're like, well, it's time. I have to sell this home.
100%. You know, got to put your big girl pants on, put the costume on, and go to work.
Yeah. The musical aspect of selling a townhouse, a new idea that, you know, haven't seen, but on this season we see it.
We sure do.
And you put together a whole show, and it first seemed like Niall was like, this feels like a crazy idea. And then you walked him through it, and then he seemed like he really was. Then he was like, well, we could do this here, and we could do this there. Was it hard to convince him to join in on that idea?
Oh, the guy like did not answer my calls for like the first 10 days after I put this idea into the world. I think the guy's a performer. The guy loves a bit. And so I think, first of all, I think he thought it was like a crazy idea. He's like, what do you mean? Like, you want to have, you know, an orchestra out the windows and a full musical and dancers? Like, that's like, okay, like, great idea, Chloe. And then the more he kept seeing it and like seeing how serious I was about it, I think he got more and more excited. And then he got terrified. He was like, wait, I'm going to like sing. Like, what if I'm not good? Like, it was very,
right.
He had like an internal crisis, and it was so fun to watch.
Is it hard when the show obviously doesn't come out for so long after you're doing all these things? Because it's like you're making all these things for social media, so a lot of it people see on social, and then we watch again on the show.
Yeah, it's definitely hard. I feel like I'm really excited to re-release a lot of stuff.
Right.
I mean,
because I remember seeing the musical, and thinking like, wow, what is happening here? And now we're seeing it on the show.
Yeah, so it's cool to be able to, you know, at the time it was such a big deal and it felt so amazing, and then you kind of are like, yeah, that happened.
Yeah.
So now to be like, no, like this was a really cool thing we did. I get to share this with so many more people, and it led to so many other things. I started like a musical web series, so I get to re-release a lot of stuff, which is exciting.
There's so many, I feel like, you know, obviously now we're in this era of these real estate reality shows, and a lot of it, you know, is on Netflix and people are obsessed with them and they're so great. But I think like what I love about owning Manhattan is I feel like I actually, no offense to some of the other people, like I'm actually watching
read them for Phil.
Real estate, like people that work. No, I feel like I'm really watching people that work. Yeah. And like that's such an interesting part of the show to me, especially with this season 2, and like seeing Ryan approach other agents that are at different brokerages and being like, you should come to Serhant, and then all of a sudden these people are finding themselves on TV. It's like it's a big change. So I'd love to know how you guys all talked about taking your jobs and putting it on TV.
Yeah, I know that Ryan especially really set out to do something very different.
Yeah.
He's done $1 Million Listing. He's done the real estate show. And I think he was like, okay, but what's next? And I think the way he approached it and the producers, which I thought was very cool, was it was like, we're going to make a reality show, but approach it we're going to make a reality show, but approach it like a scripted show. So we're going to take your real lives. We're not going to make up stories. We're not going to try to make it all the drama. We're going to take your real lives and set it up looking like a Succession.
Right.
So you really are just capturing the deals. Like, you're really seeing us fight each other, not necessarily on a personal level. Sometimes, it gets like a little messy.
Right.
But, real estate itself is dramatic. And it's exciting that people get to see what it really is and can be like when things get, pretty crazy, as it can.
Yeah.
Especially, with the places you guys are selling and the big numbers that are thrown out there.
That's why it happens. And I think the emotions do get so high because, there is so much money on the line. These commissions can be huge. And if someone else is coming in and they're not only threatening you on a personal level, they're threatening your bank account, they're threatening your way of life. And so it can get very, very competitive.
Yeah. So we know that Ryan Serhant has a crazy routine. He was actually one of our first
guests ever on the show.
way.
Yeah,
Show.
probably like 2018.
Yeah, like 7 years ago.
Yeah,
I
like a
wanna
while
say,
ago.
at
We were
this
talking about $1
point.
Million Listing.
Yeah, we were talking to him about that, and
Yeah.
we learned all about his routine and his lifestyle. What is your routine like? Anything like that?
It's absolutely nothing like Ryan's. The guy is a literal robot. I think his wife like plugs him in the mornings to get him going. Like, that's not how we operate over here. I'm also a new mom. I have a 20-month-old, so like it's chaotic. No morning is the same. It really depends on how she slept the night before, what time we wake up, and then I'm with her for the first few hours, and then thankfully I have a nanny who comes, and then my day really just depends. If I have showings, am I in the office? Am I recording vocals? Am I doing something on the musical side? So every day is very, very different, but it's fun. I could never do I'm not regimented. I am an ADHD queen. Like,
every day is different.
Like, every moment is different. We're living on the seat of our pants.
Exactly. No, I give props to people who can wake up at the same exact 4 a.m. every single morning. They do the same exact thing. They eat the same exact thing. You know what? Props to them.
Props, but like, are you okay?
Yeah, it's just like you said, it's like, plug in.
Like, listen.
At night, he's like powering down.
Yeah.
Literally, I think he like
crazy.
runs to his room and just like falls into bed, turns off.
Zombie. Zombie
Yes.
sleep and then right back up. Yeah. It and I think like seeing the dynamics of everybody in the office and different teams and friendships. What's the hardest part of trying to be friends with your like colleagues, do you think?
I think we're all so competitive.
Yeah.
That's what unfortunately makes a really good real estate
I feel
agent.
I feel like real estate is so competitive. So
It is so competitive. So it's very hard to not mix business and friendships and take things personally when it comes to something they did with their business.
right.
So things can get very complicated there, but you also have a lot more respect for the friends you do have, because not only do you like them, you think they're like really good at what they do, and there's just like a huge mutual respect, especially with a lot of people in the office. That's like very cool.
Yeah.
Right. It must be hard, sort of, because you root for your friends. You want your friends to succeed and do well. But at the same time, when you're competing in the same space for that money, for that check, that can get a little difficult.
I think for me, especially growing up in theater, that's really what I think made me get in my head and give up, is comparing myself to other people.
Right.
Having a hard time when other people got something over me or a role over me. So real estate changed me in so many ways because it made me realize that a lot of the times, like, it's not personal.
Yeah.
I may not be the right agent for everyone. Someone may love the idea of turning a listing into a musical number, and other people may be like, that's ridiculous. So like, I may be right for this person, but Jessica Taylor or someone else in the office may be the right fit.
Right.
So it's also like made me become a better performer and entertainer because I've taken the pressure off too.
Yeah.
The in this season, we see kind of like where your friendship is with Jade and the ups and downs. And it seems like at the beginning, we're at a down. It's not good between you guys. How have things has anything shifted?
Yeah, we're actually in a really good place.
Okay.
Like, she's like my sister, you know.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, she's like my ride or die, like, and I am to her. But things get really messy when you're on a reality show. And what I love about some of these other shows is, like, you know, the Mormon Wives is breaking that fourth wall.
Yeah.
You're seeing what it's like filming a show with these other women, where for us, we're a different type of show. We really want to focus on the deals and not open the current to that. So a lot of the issues we had season 1 was about things that were happening on camera. Like, is this real? Were you making up a storyline? Like
The podcast.
yeah, like all these things.
Like,
are these bits, or like, do you feel this way? Like everyone didn't really know where they stood with each other. We're like, to the point where, like, I literally thought Jade, my best friend, was making up a storyline about her husband cheating on her. Like, that's where how crazy things were getting.
Yeah.
And the distrust between everyone. And it wasn't only me that thought that, like, we all as a cast thought this girl was making up a storyline that her husband of 10 years was cheating for camera. And it turned out, like, that wasn't the case. He really was cheating, like, and it was actually really bad. And, you know, she was obviously very hurt by that. Yeah. And I felt very guilty about that. So I think, you know, and then I think she kind of attacked me. She, like, put some articles out that were kind of nasty.
And in the beginning of this season, she does kind of make it seem like she felt you took his side and kind of were defending him. I know there was one moment where she was like, she defended that he only cheated, like, he said he only cheated twice.
She says this, okay, when I watched she's first season, like, what she says is basically, Chloe took my husband's side, and Chloe was like, well, he only cheated twice. And I'm like, no, he cheated 7 times. When I heard that, it was like the biggest punch to the gut, because I feel like 2 people can have the same experience and remember it so differently. Like, at the time, this was like years ago, I did not believe this girl about her husband cheating. Yeah. So, you know, she was like, he cheated on me 7 times, and I'm like, well, I thought you said it was twice. Right. You know,
what's the story?
What's the story? Where she was hearing it as me just, like, defending him, like, picking his side. Like, we just experienced it differently. Yeah. So there's just, like, been a lot of, like, missed crossed wires for the past couple years, and, like, 2 people who love each other but are so hurt. And finally, fingers crossed, I think we've really, really worked hard to move past it and be like, no, like, I love you, I respect you, like, I have your back, like, let's go back to taking on the world together.
Good. I love that. Yeah.
I was going to ask if there was anything from the first or second season now that you kind of wish didn't happen.
Yeah. I mean, watching yourself on reality TV, sometimes the story is, like, manipulated slightly just so that the audience understands, but, like, other times it's, like, showing you a mirror of yourself. Yeah. And I think me being new to real estate, like a 5'1" woman, like, I think I always felt like, oh no, I need to be confrontational. Like, I need to seem like someone that sticks up for themselves and puts people in their places. And, like, watching that back from season 1, just it was like me walking into every room and being like, and another thing, like, no context, nothing. I was like, you know what? Like, I actually don't feel like that was authentic. Like, I think, once again, being in theater, when there's cameras on you and they're like, well, why don't you go, like, confront that person about what you were telling us you're upset about? And I'm like, okay, yes, and, like, get the camera ready, like, let's put on the show, right? So I think people, like, Whitney is a good example. Like, she has a background in performing. I'm not saying, like, she's also done things that are, like, kind of shitty, but, like,
for sure,
you know, we're more comfortable on the camera, which can sometimes get us in trouble.
That's definitely true. I want to ask about the love for theater, and, you know, you say multiple times, and you said it's like you've been doing it for as long as you can remember. What was your first big role that you remember?
Oh my God. You know, it's funny. One of the big roles I did in high school was Chicago.
Amazing.
But I was a Velma. So they stunt cast the Roxy. I am a Velma. But that was a show that I did when I was like, I'm going to do this role on Broadway one day. Like, there's no question in my head. So, you know, If it happens, it happens.
Yeah.
Hey, you never know.
You never
Well,
know.
now how do you try and like balance it all? Because I think obviously now being on a show, it is a big platform, and just like referencing Whitney is like you get to be on a TV show, and hopefully it can take you other places.
You mean like straight to Dancing with the
Yeah,
Stars?
yeah,
We hope so.
Exactly.
Dancing with the
like,
Stars to Broadway.
right. What are the opportunities we're manifesting?
Oh yeah, I mean,
All of them.
I want to, it's funny, like I literally had a talk with my therapist, and like before this week I was like so scared to like say what I wanted. I was like, I don't know, like I'm gonna put it out there and like hopefully people think I'm good enough. And I'm like, Chloe, like shut up. Like you've been working towards this since you were 4. Like I still warm up every single day and like take dance class. Like we are ready. Like I want to do Broadway, I want to do Dancing with the Stars, and I want to be able to perform at night and do real estate by day.
Yep. For sure. Yeah. There
I
you
mean,
go.
let's not forget you getting the Mamma Mia on an open call.
There you go.
You can't forget that.
I mean, also Whitney, she's like, I booked my first movie. I was like, Chloe, you did a movie this year. Like you also booked, like you are doing it. Like what is like, no one has told you you are not good enough but yourself.
Right,
like
right.
enough.
It's just that constant drive to keep wanting to prove yourself.
Totally. And just for the first time in my life, being a new mom, I need to get out of my own way.
Right.
Because it's for my daughter. I don't want my daughter to look at her mom and be like, wow, like she really had these, like she really worked hard and she was talented, but she kept getting stuck in her own head.
Right,
I don't want
right.
I don't want my daughter to see that.
Yeah.
So we're getting out of our own way and we're going for the
Good.
things we want.
Love it.
How do you now, obviously being online and sharing so much with the show, but also using your social media presence for Broadway, for real estate, everything, how do you kind of deal with any maybe negative feedback that you get? Now it's like, I don't care.
Not well.
Yeah.
I mean, we like shut ourselves in the bathroom and have a good little cry, and then we, get out of it. No,
Yeah.
I think that is true, but I think last season I was just like every comment I felt like I had to respond to because I just felt like so much of the story wasn't being told.
Yeah.
Since then, I've really made a promise to myself just to not look, like to not care, to stay in my own lane. And even with the other girls on the cast, like we all are so different, Jade is her own thing. She's sexy and she wants to do these things. Like I'm in my theater era. So it's like, just like cut out the noise. Don't pay attention to the comments. Some people are going to think I'm super talented and others are going to be like, this girl like sucks.
Yeah.
Like who does she think she is? And like, it's not my problem.
Yeah. You're like, it's not my business.
It's not my business what people think of me.
Yep. Yep. That's so fair.
Yeah. I want to talk more about design and homes. I mean, I feel like that's got to be so fun to just get to go to these insane places and kind of dream it up, right? Like you walk in and you're like, oh my gosh, imagine living here. But what are your hot takes or absolute no's when you walk in a place, even if from the eye to us is like, this is amazing?
I'm from LA, like born and raised, in West Hollywood. So I'm used to these like very big homes with like big outdoor space. So coming to New York, it's hard to kind of put in perspective what things cost. The thing for me, especially in New York, is like you need somewhere with good light. You need to get that vitamin D on your skin. Otherwise, that seasonal depression will get you no matter how rich you are. So, I think light is a big one. I think being in a building that you love is really important. I know this sounds silly, but like loving your doorman, like, being really comfortable where I've lived in the same rental building for 10 years because like I'm obsessed with the staff and the doormen. So it's like, finding a place that like really feels like home and a community and somewhere you're excited to go every day. And location's really important. I always tell, these young kids who are moving from Indiana, to New York, like where are you working? Like let's figure out where in town you're working and what trains are close to that, so that when we're looking for apartments, like we want to make your life as easy as possible when you're in this like new city.
Yeah.
So
how do you deal with people going, this is the price of that? Especially in New York.
I'm like, girl, I know, like I hear you, like I totally understand where you're coming from.
Yeah.
But it's New York City, Like if you don't want it, I can guarantee you someone else will.
That is true.
So, if you love it, you better, buckle up.
Yeah, that is very true. We see some insane properties on the show. What has been the craziest space you've gotten to see in Manhattan through working with Serhant?
I think Ryan's $250 million listing was insane. Like it was so high up that your ears would pop. Like it was just the opulence of it and the views, and it was really crazy to think like, wow, this is a $250 million apartment. The amount of people in the world that can afford this is like 13. Like, you know, it's
like it's too high up. I wouldn't want to live there anyway.
No, yeah, exactly. So this is not for me. The altitude up here.
I want to say, like, I mean, it's so crazy to me, and I'm so fascinated by New York City real estate from just now. I've been living in the city for almost 10 years. It'll be 10 years next year.
Congratulations.
Thank
you're a real
you.
New Yorker.
Yes, and I was, and you know, I was on the Upper East Side, and now I'm in Chelsea, and it's just been like I still just hold on to being in New York, despite, you know, some of my friends starting to move to the suburbs and like make these changes. But I like, especially watching this show, I love seeing what you guys are showing, and then I'm on Zillow, like I'm on Street Easy looking at like all the apartments and everything in the area. Like, what's your biggest advice to people in New York who are, you know, trying to find something that is suitable for their family? In real estate, I guess,
you
obviously.
really have to look at what makes sense. You gotta run the numbers, you know. And there's always a catch in New York. There's not ever gonna be that perfect apartment that ticks every single box. But you have to look at it like, what makes the most sense for me and my lifestyle and my family, and go from there. And it's really important to not only look at the price, because that's the one thing about New York on the buy side is like, we have maintenance, you know, we have the taxes. Some of these buildings, it can be astronomical, but the price is low, or vice versa. But, you know, you have to really kind of let go and think of, where am I going to be the happiest?
Yeah.
That is true.
That is very true.
And if you're a renter, like, get all your documents in order, or you're not going to get the apartment.
That is great advice too. Just have the documents ready.
That's like, if I could give any advice to young people, is take all the documents. There are 5. You can email me if you need to know exactly what they are, but put them in a PDF.
Yeah.
Because the way that landlords pick the person that's going to get the apartment is like the first one in with the deposit and the documents that check out.
Right.
Like,
Exactly.
send them to the broker. Even if it's like you're not sure about it, like, it's gonna hold your spot for a beat.
Yeah.
So this is kind of a random question, but my friends and I were talking about it, so I want to know your opinion.
Oh God, here we go.
No, this is like once again very real estate focused, but there's all these TikTok accounts now that are people like walking into these insane apartments, and they're like, this apartment is for rent, and it is like, these are gorgeous Tribeca lofts, and they're like, it's $5,000 a month, and I'm like, what am I missing here? What are we missing with those people? Like, is it all just, are they just scamming people? They're like, DM for an interview.
That is what we call a classic bait and switch, my friend.
Okay.
That is unfortunately the name of the game for a lot of these like slime ball real estate agents in New York. I got my first apartment on a bait and switch. I saw something like that online, and this like random broker was like, oh yeah, let me take you there. We get out front, he's like, oh, can't get you in today, but actually I have 5 other ones that I can show you. It's a bait and switch. It is, you know, low-hanging fruit, as I like to call it.
No,
those are big on TikTok right now.
They're huge on TikTok, and they keep coming up on my For You page, and I'm like, the amount that I pay in rent for where I live, this makes no sense.
If it looks too good to be true, it is not real. That is what I tell everyone.
I know. And then I'm always in the comments, I'm like, because people are like, I'm interested, and they're like, okay, DM me your application. I'm like, oh my God, people are really going through and reaching out to these people.
It's actually worse, because I think they're having people send in an application and money, like a deposit.
Right.
So not only is it probably a bait and switch, like, it's a big old scam.
Yeah.
Yep. Well, they're just like scamming people that have never lived in New York or don't know anything about real estate in New York, and that's how you're going to get people like that.
Totally. I mean, literally, like,
they're preying on people that just don't have any idea, which is just messed up.
I mean, my mom is like getting it, you know, like just from like Amazon and Google.
Oh,
and Bitcoin, you know? It's like,
I mean,
all the calls and the texts.
Yeah.
You got to be careful. You got to warn the parents out there.
You got to warn them. I'm like, hang up.
You have to warn them.
Hello, Jen Shaw. That's exactly why she went to jail. Scamming old people. Okay, we have one last question for you. It is our Armani Luminous Silk Concealer sponsored question. We love Armani Luminous Silk Concealer.
The best.
I know it's been a while since you guys filmed, and we do get to see some updates on social media. And one that I did see was that townhouse, the musical, did sell.
It did.
Can you give us little details on how that went down?
You kind of see. So it's interesting in New York City, like things can fall through.
Yeah.
So you kind of see us negotiate an offer, which we got. That one ended up not going through, but luckily we got another offer that came in, and that one did close. But especially with townhouses, there's a lot of due diligence. Yeah. There's a lot of inspections that have to happen, and sometimes, it can really add up. So, like I said, in New York City, there's always a catch.
Yeah, that is very true. There's one townhouse that's near where I live, where I walk my dog past it like every day, and it has the Serhant sign out front, and it's like,
who's on the list?
I'm not quite sure.
Get him off. That's my territory.
It's a stunning apartment. Like, it's an apartment. It's a stunning home.
Yeah.
And I was like, you know what? For the first time the other day, I was like, let me look up what the listing price is on this.
Yeah.
It's like
Let me just take a gander.
Just like an easy $25 million.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, maybe not.
I think that's actually just Taylor's listing.
It might be.
I'll see if I can get you a deal.
I was like, this home is stunning, but yeah, it's on like 22nd
Wow,
Street.
you were feeling really confident, weren't you? You were like, let me check out this.
Let me just go check out how.
It's just a little townhouse.
Well,
You're manifesting.
Yeah, exactly. Maybe one day.
I believe in you.
Chloe, thank you so much for joining us. We're so excited for everybody to watch the second season of Owning Manhattan on Netflix. Out now. Everyone can stream the episodes on Netflix and see all the amazing real estate and drama that you guys are getting into this season.
Buckle up, baby. It's going to get messy. Thanks for having me, guys.
Thank you so much.